Got him. Broken. Yeah, we're good, we're good. Oh yeah. RE Visuals by himself, all alone. Again. Let's go, baby. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the RE Visuals YouTube channel. We'll always find high quality visuals and high quality tech. And in today's tech adventure, we're finally going to be building a brand new PC. And in this one, this one's going to be very cheap and easy to build. So let's get right into it. Now, keep in mind, these parts were purchased during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so prices will have fluctuated a bit based on when I go ahead and post this video. Don't worry though, I will have different part options for you down in the description below, all tuned up so that you can keep the price of the build down to where it should be to be able to get some of the same performance I'm getting today. So starting with our CPU, we'll be taking advantage of the crazy sales on AMD processors right now and using the Ryzen 5 4600G, because not only does it come with a CPU cooler, but it comes equipped with Radeon graphics, so we don't have to add a dedicated GPU to the build until later on down the road if we want to save us some money on the PC right now. I was able to snag this processor for only $99, and for a 6-core 12-thread processor, I think we're getting a lot for our money here. For the motherboard, I went with the ASRock B550M PG Riptide Micro ATX motherboard. So the reason I went for this was simply because this was the cheapest B550 motherboard that I could find on sale during Black Friday and Cyber Monday that was this feature packed. So typically, to save a bit on a budget build, you'll need to go with a seriously cut down B550, B450, or even some kind of A series board from AMD, but this time we snagged the Riptide for only $89.99. So this motherboard will pair very nicely with our 4600G and won't require any BIOS updates since it is already compatible with our CPU right out of the box. Now for our system memory or RAM, I went with a 16GB kit of ADATA XPG Spectrix D50 clocked at 3200 MHz. Now this is a kit that I already had laying around in another build, so I decided to just use this instead of buying a brand new kit for this build since I'm buying a lot of this myself. Ideally, you'd want to be running a 16GB kit clocked at 3600 MHz or higher and take advantage of AMD's Infinity Fabric, which will net you some more frames, especially when using integrated graphics like we are today. And down in the description, I'll list a kit that I suggest you pick up for this build that meets those specs I just talked about. Now on to storage. So this is always an area where you can go for whatever really suits you personally, but I like to go with a single 1TB drive for a boot and heavily used programs drive. So with this in mind, I went with a Silicon Power A60 1TB NVMe drive that will fit the bill for our build today. These are my favorite budget drives to use because they hit the mark between a very low price and a very decent performance. So also, if you do want to save yourself a few more bucks on this build, you could also just pick up a 500GB version of this drive and make the build even cheaper. Then go ahead and add more storage later if you guys want to. Now on to the only part of this build that was actually sent over to me, and that is the case. So Gamdias sent over their new Athena M6 case in the white colorway. They actually sent it over to me without even asking me. It just showed up at my door one day, so I thought that was pretty funny. I decided, why not just go ahead and use it in a build since I already have it. Now, keep in mind that this case goes for 80 bucks new, which is more than I'd suggest spending on a case for a build like today we're doing, but I'll leave a cheaper option for you down in the description below if you don't want to use the case I'm using. Either way, this is a very feature-packed case that is very easy to build in. You get a covered PSU shroud area, which is always nice, and it's great for cable management. You get magnetic dust filters, and my favorite part, 4 included RGB fans with their own fan hub. And the case also has underglow lighting too, so now you can make your PC look like every car in the Fast and the Furious. That's pretty cool. And lastly, let's talk about our power supply. So the power supply that I picked up for this build is the Corsair CX650M. Now on Black Friday, I got a screaming deal on this power supply, so I really couldn't pass it up. It's a semi-modular power supply that comes in an all flat black color with all black cables as well. Zero ketchup and mustard here, which I really appreciate and definitely makes the build look much more clean. And I also chose not to get my usual cable extensions from Asia Horse for this build because of the fact that these stock cables were so clean looking already. Now real quick, a couple of things that I wish I would have saw from the Gamdias case once I finished a build. Number one was grommets. I'm a huge fan of grommets in your case around the cable areas to conceal those huge gaping holes in the motherboard tray area where your cables run. And for a case for this price, you know, they could have included a couple of those and made this look a little bit nicer. Also, I feel like for a case of this price, they should have had a better port selection on the front I/O panel. You get 2 USB 2s and 1 USB 3, but like, what? It's 2022. Where's the USB-C at? Just throw one in there and it'll make this case so much better. But other than those small gripes, the build went very smoothly, and I even completed it live on stream with all of you guys. It was the first time I ever did that, and I had an absolute blast doing it. I will most definitely be doing more of those in the future, so if you're interested in seeing those kind of, you know, bits of content, get subscribed so you guys don't miss my next PC building stream. Anyway, after the build was completely done, I got to work installing and activating Windows 10 using a code from VIPURCD, of course, link in the description, you know, shameless plug. And then I installed all of the necessary drivers. Now, once I get to this point, there's only one more thing to do, and that is to test some games and show you guys the performance that you can expect from a system only using integrated graphics like this. So of course, I was able to get some really nice discounts on Black Friday for what I actually built, but here are some parts with current prices right now that can get you in the ballpark of exactly what I just built. And with that out of the way, let's test some games really quick. So all the tests you're going to see here are run at 1920 by 1080, and the settings will vary, but mostly going to be on low settings because we're going to really try to see what this Radeon graphics enabled 4600G can do without a discrete graphics card. Things started, I went with a couple of lighter titles to just kind of, you know, get a baseline for what this computer can do. And Rocket League was one of the first ones. And to be honest with you guys, it did really well. It was a very smooth performance, even though it was 76 FPS average, but I actually ended up having a lot of fun playing this game, which I didn't expect. Our next lighter title was Rainbow Six Siege, and I expected this one to go ahead and get a pretty high frame rate because this game is usually really easy to run even on potato PCs, but nonetheless, it still looked pretty dang good, even on high settings with FSR on, and we were able to net ourselves 118 FPS, which is pretty dang good, I think. And last, for our lighter titles, I went and did Overwatch 2, and now this one was able to actually get us up to our target of 60 FPS for these lighter titles, and it was actually a really smooth and nice play experience. Once again, I could not believe I was actually playing a game like this as smooth as it was on just an integrated GPU, so I couldn't really tell much of a difference from playing it on anything else because of how much fun I was having. Okay, now moving on to some harder titles where I decided that our target was just going to be 30 FPS. We started with Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is actually a more difficult game to run than some people may think because of all the new textures and how everything has been updated. So we were able to just about get around 30 to 32 FPS in this game, which is a great console-like experience, and I didn't really notice it being too bad or stuttery or anything, so it was actually not too terrible. Next, I hopped into Doom Eternal because it's a very well-optimized game, and it usually runs pretty smoothly even on some lower hardware, and we were able to still squeak out an average FPS of 32 on high preset settings at 1080p in this game, and you can see when there's a lot happening on the screen, it dips down a little bit, but then it actually, the highs are pretty high, so it was able to get right in there at around 30 to 32 FPS, which was kind of nice. Next, we hopped into some Apex, and now this actually ran a lot smoother than I expected, and even though our average FPS over the whole run ended up being about 42 because of some of the dips in certain areas, we actually see the FPS sticking around 50 and 60 at a lot of times, so it made for a really, really smooth play experience, and I was able to do a lot of really cool stuff with my teammates that I randomly was paired up with here, and at the end of the match, I even was able to pull out a win while I was recording this live on stream with you guys, so that was a lot of fun. For all of you guys, I had to go ahead and hop into some Fortnite, playing at low settings with epic view distance, you know, the usual pro settings, and I immediately hopped into the round and started clicking heads and having a lot of fun because the FPS ended up actually being really, really nice for what we were getting here with this PC, and honestly, it was a very smooth and fun play experience, and I didn't notice any crazy stuttering or anything that would mess me up, so I actually had a pretty good time with it, not with Fortnite, but, you know, just playing games in general. Next, I cranked things up a notch and actually tested the Cyberpunk 2077 built-in benchmark, and man, wouldn't you know it, we were able to get above 30 FPS in this benchmark because of AMD's FSR technology. So guys, this really makes a huge difference, especially when you're using an integrated graphics processor like we are today. And honestly, it was pretty shocking to see that we were able to achieve this. And to round this out, we decided to test the Witcher Wild Hunt Enhanced version that just came out with all its new graphical fidelity. But of course, we had to go ahead and put everything on the lowest it could go with AMD FSR 2.0 enabled, so we could just squeak out 29 FPS average. So this was the only, bigger title we were not able to achieve a steady 30 FPS for a console-like experience. It was pretty dang close, and it didn't actually look that bad, as you guys can see on the screen here, but I couldn't give it, exactly 30 because it just wouldn't stay consistent enough. So that's what we ended up with. But what about Call of Duty? Look, I tried really hard. I tried everything. If you guys were on my stream, you would have seen it. I could not get the damn game to start. I did everything, tried every fix I could see on YouTube, and it kept getting this loading screen error where it would just load and then do nothing. So that's that. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude my testing on the below $350 super budget machine, and I gotta say, I was actually pretty impressed with what we were able to achieve without any dedicated GPU in the system. So what do you guys think? Could I have done anything different here? Could I have tweaked my settings, got maybe even more FPS? Let me know in the comments below. And once again, don't forget to subscribe with those notifications on, because next, I'm going to give this system a serious graphics upgrade and show all of you what you can achieve with a system that costs just over $600 with this GPU right here. But that is for another day in another video. So go ahead and drop the like on this video if you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time.